Hello everyone, Razorblade Mango here, and this is the beginning of a new series that I would like to bring to the channel called Why I'm Excited For... I wanted to start a series where I highlight some games I'm excited about, whether they're going to come out this year, next year, or don't have any release date at all. They will be a mix of both big and small titles, and they'll range from some of my most anticipated games to upcoming potential gems. And the first episode in this series will be highlighting an upcoming game called Tchia, developed by a team called Awaseb. The reason I wanted to kick off this new series with this game in particular is that I feel like I owe this game and its developers an apology. I've been rooting for this game for some time now because my first impression of it was very unkind and unfair. To this day, I feel bad about how I initially talked so much shit about the game when it was first shown off during PlayStation's 2021 showcase. It's one of the rare instances where I was hostile towards a game without any proper justification, and I never like to do that. At this point, if it ain't a PlayStation Studios thing, I don't
look
give
at
a
this.
shit.
Look it down on the phone. Look it down on the phone.
Don't give a shit. Sorry, I'm sorry to the people that are developing these third-party games. At this point in the what the hell? It's turned into a dog.
Yeah.
At this point in the presentation, I don't care. If you're not a PlayStation Studios thing, I don't care. I'm not gonna care. Like, this could look fucking great in, 2 months when I see a trailer for it. But at this point in time, right now, I don't care whatsoever. So what is Tchia? On the surface, it's an open-world adventure inspired by the real-life location of New Caledonia. But when one digs a little deeper into the gameplay, its influences range from The Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, Prop Hunt, and another influence I'm not sure was intentional seems to be from an unreleased project called Wild. If none of you remember this, Wild was supposed to be a PS4 exclusive, published by Sony themselves and developed by Michel Ancel's Wild Sheep team, that unfortunately became vaporware after years of development, and when Michel Ancel retired from the video game industry. One of the reasons it caught my eye back then was that you could play as a shaman that possesses animals for a variety of uses. I was always intrigued by that mechanic, so I was excited to see it being used again in Tchia. The main character can possess animals and inanimate objects via a soul jump mechanic, and use them to navigate the environment, fight enemies, solve puzzles, and collect treasure. This is done in tandem with the game's physics engine, and it looks really fun to explore the islands and discover their secrets. I'm also a sucker for beach-themed environments, so Tchia is right up my alley in that regard. Another thing I find charming about this game is the developers' love of the real-world setting New Caledonia. I'll admit my ignorance of not knowing about New Caledonia before this game, but the love the devs have for this place is infectious. I'm always open to learning about new cultures, and I think video games are a perfect medium for that. From what I can tell based on their behind-the-scenes videos, they spent a lot of time researching the area and even recruited a lot of local talent for the game's music and voice acting.
The studio's co-founders were actually born in New Caledonia, and I love that this game is, in essence, a love letter to their home.
As far as any red flags I can spot or worries about the game, I have a few.
First, I'm not entirely convinced Tchia won't feel janky when it releases, due to this being Awaseb's first attempt at a game like this. For all the support it's getting from the likes of PlayStation and Epic, I don't think it will feel as good to play as some of the games it's getting inspiration from. Second, it has the usual survival game elements like a stamina meter, crafting, and at this stage of the game, I'm sick of that shit. I understand why they're here, but I hope they're not as prevalent or intrusive as they are in other recent games. Finally, my last concern is performance. The footage that's publicly available is definitely based on older builds than what we'll get at launch, but it still looks kinda rough when it comes to the frame rate. Not bad, but not the smooth 60 frames per second experience I always hope for. I hope Awaseb can iron out the kinks before launch, but I have some doubts about that considering the size of the game and this developer's experience. Tchia releases early this year, and it will be available on PS5, PS4, and PC via the Epic Game Store at launch. The price is currently unknown, but I wouldn't be surprised if it fell within the $25 to $30 region. As I said, I've been rooting for this game for a while, and I think it has the potential to be a really fun and unique experience.